Hey Clashers, Zap Titans is still incredible strong, and it's actually the second most used strategy in higher legends, so I thought I would just ask one of those pro players high up in legends to share some of their attacks so we could learn from them. And I asked actually Mammoth, who is right now on rank 2 and rank 8 as well in the top 10 in the global leaderboard, and he is playing still this Zap Titan strategy where a lot of people were expecting with the more HP of the scatter shot that this strategy is going to get quite a big hit in the power, but it seems like that's not really the case. Let's just jump into a couple of attacks. Okay, let's start things off with ring bases, and especially those type of ring bases where not everything is stacked inside the core. This is typically where a lot of people are struggling with this specific strategy, because there's always the question, what should you use the lightning for? Well, on this one you have to be kind of creative, because I mean, obviously there's different approach options, but what we have on this one is that we see the attacker is identifying that there is a lot of damage behind the eagle, like the monolith. We all know how strong this defense is. So what he does is he's going to take that out with those spells, because it is in a layer which the queen cannot reach. But instead he's just charging that eagle, letting that queen decide whichever way she wants to go, and since there is no second layer or even third layer damage threat on this queen can now slowly decide whichever way she wants to go, and as soon as she is deciding for a certain direction, he's just adding the remaining army, which is Ice Golem, Titans, King for funneling, and so on. The next important thing in this strategy is that he's using Frosty and not the Phoenix. The Phoenix is especially important if you're going to a lot of damage really early on. But with this one, you have the support of the witches, which means Frosty in most cases is just better. Now he's jumping into the core with those Titans. The Titans are doing quick work of those skeletons. And now at this point you can notice as well another thing. He has not used the siege machine just yet. Because in those bases where the ring base is set up, that in all of those different corners there's something which is going to threaten a flame flinger, you can't really use the siege machine. At the bottom side we can see the mortars, on the right and left side we saw the expos, on the top side we saw all of the heroes, so it's really hard to use the flame flinger. So what he does instead, he's using the battle drill on the back end. You can be really flexible with this strategy, and I think this is one of the reasons why this strategy is not as easy as I thought in the beginning it would be for a lot of casuals. Because whenever the first time I saw this strategy, I was always really confident that this is pretty much one of the easiest and best strategies for ground for people to use. And while it is pretty much one of the best, if not the best ground strategy to use, it is not as easy to use as I was expecting, because a lot of people are struggling to find a good use case for the lightnings, especially if there's not an obvious use case like on this one. You could have took down an expo, yes, but there's not too much value, right? So you really need to be creative, and you really need to have a plan for what is your next step, and that's exactly what he was going for on this one. So I think we should just jump into the next attack and see what he does there. Okay, next base, next attack, and this time we have a box base. So overall we have those big three type of bases in Clash of Clans. It's like ring base, it's box base, and it is a diamond shaped base. This is going to be the third attack we're going to witness in just a couple of seconds. But first off, what was one of the most common approaches against box bases? Most common approach is use the lightning for some value behind the town hall, which is covering for like the flame flinger and stuff like that. And then the next step is use a one walk next to it, and then use the flame flinger to take down the town hall. This one though is kind of tricky. You can tell that, well, you could use the lightning spell onto this expo and the monolith, but you can't do it on this side. But then again, on the other side there's the king, so the king is covering that left side for the flame flinger, so you can't do that. So now what he does, which is super smart, he is just going to go for the bait, but only the lightning spell. So he's taking down the back end expo and the monolith behind the town hall, but he's now then just tanking this expo. So he knows that this expo range is always going to be on his warden or onto his titan push in general. And with this being the case, this expo never is going to lock onto that flame flinger, which is supposed to take down the town hall. So at this point he just has to push through, keep distracting the expo, and the town hall is going to go down guaranteed, because this is not the baited side from the base builder, because he did not expect this entry. So it's really nice and really perfectly highlighting how creative you can be with those lightnings, with the warden walk. You have a lot of options right there. And I feel like this is as well the most tricky thing about this strategy, kind of outsmarting the defender when it comes down to the lightning. Don't go for the craziest value and then the most obvious follow-up. More about like doing the mind games, going more for pathing with those lightnings, and that's the important thing. By the way, if you're now saying, iTzu, that's only one example of a box base and the attack before was just one example of a ring base, I want to try this strategy, I want to learn more about the strategy, no problem. Mammoth, the attacker, has actually his own YouTube channel, so I will link you guys his channel down below in the description of this video. So if you're really liking this strategy and want to learn more about it, really make sure to check him out and give him some love there, because he's just insane with this strategy. But for us right now, we have now taken a look at the ring base, taking a look at how he attacked the box base, and the third one now is going to be how is he actually attacking a diamond shaped base, like the last most popular base. And that's another really good question. So after overkilling this base, I think we should take a look at the diamond base. And last but not least, the diamond base. On diamond bases, well, there's just so many options. A really popular entry is take down the damage behind the town hall and kind of use the flame flinger for the town hall, similar to what you do on box bases. But a lot of times you have to be careful with builder huts behind the town hall, especially with the new level. You have to be super careful because your siege machine, your flame flinger, is not dealing really burst damage, but instead consistent damage. So builder huts can heal against that damage, and sometimes the town hall's never going down. So that option is already not possible. Another option is using the warden walk for like the expo and then entering from the bottom side, just from the far side, and going for the town hall. That is always an option as well for diamond bases, but what he does here is something completely different I would have never considered. He noticed a really important thing, and this eagle is connected to a lot of damage. All of those buildings are hugging each other, and what is really good against buildings which are close to each other? That's right, the flame flinger. Because the flame flinger deals splash damage, and with attacking the eagle, he can already take down the air defense, deal damage towards the mortar, and so on. And as soon as he's taken care of the second layer of damage again with the multi-inferno and the rage tower, at this point the pathing is set. The pathing is set towards this right side and then further into the town hall. This is exactly what he does. He clears that entire section of the bottom side out with the siege machine, because there is just so much damage stacked together that, take a look at that, the entire thing is gone. It's crazy. And now he's just walking around, he's trying to take down the Tesla so his troops are not coming back or doing anything stupid. Wall breaking in, his Titans should come back in just a second. At this point, he knows that the Queen ability is really important. That's why he's using the Warden ability, and especially the Queen is walking back out of range of that Monolith again, and at this point, that's where he's using the Rages. Really important. You can tell the Rages are not used for the troops. The Rages are mainly used for the healers. That's why he's using the Rages more passively, because Titans are not really being affected from the Rages that much. Instead, you want to catch the healers, because with having the healers raged up, you can heal a lot. You can heal quite a bit, and you can somehow counter the damage output a Tower of 15 base has. So the Rages, always try to target your healers. That's the most important thing. It's not the Titans itself. Then at this point, the back end, it's kind of like at this point a done deal with this base. There's not many chances that this base has. And the really important thing is be creative with your lightning spells. On this one, he just took down the multi-inferno tower and a rage tower, right? That's it. He could have gone for, like, I don't know, Queen damage, Expo, builder huts, maybe the monolith in the core. So there was a lot of options, but he decided to just go for a multi-inferno tower and a rage tower, and that this would be alright for him. So really important, the lightnings is what this strategy is the most important thing about, and the pathing you can create with that. And that's pretty much it for the video. But if you're now interested in the strategy and really want to learn more about this strategy, even more of what I tried to share in this video, don't worry, you can visit his YouTube channel. I have already said I linked it down below, so you can go for more attacks, learn more about the strategy, and push high, or use it in Clan War and Clan War League as well, because that's another really good use case for it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you learned something new. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.